Hello. Oh, good. Can you hear me good? Hi. Can you guys hear me? Because I know last time I did a live video, nobody could hear what I was saying. Oh, thank God. I'm not good at all this technology stuff, and I thought I'd get on here like 10 minutes early, and then, you know, I've been playing around for 10 minutes trying to figure out how to get on the video that I had, the feed that I had scheduled, so I just did a fresh one. So I'll wait a minute before I start yammering. Good. And my light is weird. It keeps looking like I've got an angel's halo with this light above me. Okay. Hi, Judy from Mississippi. Oh, good. I'll try and talk loud because I always, you guys know I mumble sometimes. I think that's just the way I talk. I didn't realize till I started filming videos that I mumble to myself so much. So, did you guys watch the video I uploaded last night? I meant to upload the First Lady's video a lot earlier than I did, and then it took forever to upload. So, hey, Grace, George and Martha's neighbor. Oh, God. I know it's cold here. I actually was going to get on here in my pajamas because I thought, we're all friends. I can get on my pajamas. And I'm cold, so I'm actually wearing a hoodie with my pajama bottoms. But loved the video and ordered the sampler book. That sampler book I showed it's a good one. And of course, there's a reflection in my glasses. You can probably see my daughter was watching Friends on TV. It's playing in my glasses. Hey, Barry. Okay, hey, I've got to text a friend here and tell her to get on YouTube, not Instagram. Okay. All right, now that I'm on here, I don't even know what the heck I'm going to talk about. Actually, I brought stuff to show you guys. I have like a little show and tell. I know I'm washed out. It's the lighting, and I couldn't figure out. I'm not at home. Um, I was trying to figure out good lighting, and I just, whatever. I think it is what it is because the lights above me are pretty bright. I can actually, I might be able to turn them down a little bit and make it a little better. Actually, I'm going to text my daughter and tell her to adjust the lights for me. Then I don't have to get up. Bear with me a second. I'm not a fast texter either. Oh, Jean Lee. How are you, Jean? How exciting. Hey, Penny. Yeah, I'll try and get this lighting fixed, but whatever. We're doing this casual. So I brought some show and tell stuff, and I have to say, I was really very nervous to do that First Ladies video. I was a little nervous that I would lose a lot of followers. You guys would think I was a total dork and nobody would like it. And I was really excited this morning when I woke up and was reading all of the comments about how many people were excited about it and liked it. And I don't know, want to see more. And I don't know, it was fun to do. So now I'm actually excited, and I've been excited to do this. I think that might be better. Is that light better? I think that light's better. It's a little warmer.
I can go down one.
That's good. All right, we got my camera crew and production person just changed the lights. So I was really nervous about posting that, and I thought everybody's gonna hate me and think I'm a know-it-all and a dork, and that's it. But I was excited that A lot of you guys commented that you really liked it. Hey, Nikki. If you guys haven't watched, it's because I asked everybody to comment, like, who is their favorite first lady? And they're really fun to read. They're fun to see what people said, who they liked. There's quite a few people that don't have a favorite first lady because they just, they haven't looked into it much. There was a lot of Eleanors, a lot of Eleanor Roosevelts, a lot of Marthas, a lot of Abigails. And it's funny because if you're an Eleanor fan and you don't know a lot about Abigail, oh my gosh, they're like two peas in a pod. You're going to love Abigail. They're very much the same kind of gals. So the next couple of episodes that I film, Abigail and then Dolly, I think those are going to be really good if you don't know about those two, because those ladies are so interesting. Actually, there's a lot that are really interesting. I don't know. They're good. But the next couple I think are going to be good. Probably even better than Martha. So hopefully you guys will watch those and like those too. I'm a know a lot and a dork. Oh my gosh. The reflection of my glasses stinks, but I kind of got to have them to read all your comments. Yeah. Oh, looking forward to a lot of people said Abigail. Oh, Jean Lee will tell me her favorite after the series. I kind of wonder if people's favorites will change. I wonder even I don't know if mine will change. My favorite's definitely Dolly. Abigail's right up there. I mean, she's pretty high. There's a couple others that I really like. I love Rachel Jackson. I love Grace Coolidge. There's a lot. You know what I was really surprised about is that a lot of people wrote Barbara Bush. And I was like, who doesn't love Barbara Bush? Somebody had commented that she seemed like the kind of person that you'd want to like go out and have a cup of coffee with. And I think the reason we feel like we know Barbara Bush so good is especially those newer ones, like from Jackie forward, they were on TV and we saw interviews and we kind of saw them like much more live in the flesh. And Barbara was such a needle worker. I bet that all of us would probably like to have gone out to lunch with Barbara Bush because we could have totally talked about needlework. She seems like she had a good sense of humor. She seems like she might have been a little scary at times. Kind of like Abigail and Eleanor, just knew what she wanted to say and was very blunt about it. And I don't know, maybe Barbara's going to rise up in the ranks for me. She'll be the last one we talk about, maybe. Hopefully none others pass between the time I've started and get done. But I was really surprised. There's a lot of Barbara comments. There's a lot of Betty Ford comments. That surprised me. And I've said before, I wanted to, one of my goals is to hit all of like the presidential museums or historical sites, or a majority of them. And I'm in Michigan where the Gerald Ford Museum is, and I haven't been there. So maybe I should hit that this summer. And maybe, I definitely will before I do Betty Ford. But I was a little surprised she popped up a few times. They're all good. I mean, there's none that are bad. But yeah, I was a little surprised by Barbara that she popped up so often, I should say. I don't know if did you guys watch Barbara's funeral a few years ago? That was pretty good. I think a lot of people liked it. Didn't like, watching the funeral, but man, she had some really good tributes. When she passed away, it was kind of fun to review her life a bit. Abigail and Eleanor, I think that they're totally alike. I mean, obviously different generations, but they're totally the same kind of ladies. Abigail did stitch a sampler. Okay, so Nikki asked, she said Abigail stitched a sampler. I was actually working on trying to get that reproduced, and it's very small. It still may happen. It's a museum piece, and it's actually open access. So I was planning on trying to maybe get that done. It's a cute little tiny sampler. You can look up. I'll probably show it on her episode. But it would be a fun one to stitch because it's not terribly big. It would go really quick. And again, a fun conversation piece. I don't know if it's been reproduced yet, though. I was thinking of doing it. I still might. So yeah, ooh, 89 people, and it's late at night for me on the East Coast. Okay, so I brought stuff to show you. You never saw the younger picture of Martha. Isn't that good? I mean, okay, so Patricia Brady had that done at LSU, and she did this with Mount Vernon, getting that cover of that book done. And so they did like the forensic science, like age regression thing that, you know, they do that for like missing kids, and they do the age progression to see what somebody would look like later in life. And Patricia Brady said it's pretty darn accurate of what Martha would have looked like as a young lady. And so, I don't know. I think she was a pretty gal, if that's true. So, Carol Saltbox is on here. Hey, Carol. Carol Saltbox. Okay, so I brought some stuff that I'm going to show you, and it's kind of like a mishmash of stuff. Yeah, I think she was pretty. Now, one of the comments I got this morning, and I didn't even think of this, was Daylene, so great. Is it So Grateful or It's So Grateful? She has a great YouTube channel. She's such a sweet lady. But she commented that she watched the Martha Washington episode, and she said it put her in the mood to stitch Heritage Sampler by Plum Street. So I'm actually not at my house. I'm at my friend's house. My daughter's still house sitting, so I'm hanging out here for the night. So I grabbed it off my living room wall and brought it with me. And I also brought, one of the ones I'm stitching on is, the Betsy Ross one, the Plum Street. What was it? New Constellation. This is one I'm actually working on. Hopefully, I know it's not good light, but. So this one I'm working on, this one's Betsy Ross. God, I hope you guys can see these okay, because this light stinks. So I think I might work on this tonight. If I can. That's how much I have done. These are fun to do. These are, Grace, these are really fun. This one, oh my gosh, this one and the one, she has one that's like the suffragette ladies, kind of celebrating women's right to vote. They both have like way more over one than the Heritage Sampler. Okay, so this is the Heritage Sampler. Hopefully I brought that to show. So this is, I think Paulette said, this is the story of the American flag. So you have, like your pilgrims. This is the first American flag during the Revolution. You got George. And then you have the modern day American flag. And Abe and good old Mary. Oh, you're watching on your TV, but the phone on for the picture's better on the phone. Oh, yeah. I'm not good at this technology stuff, you guys. And the problem is the lights. And the other problem is trying to find a place to sit where there was the right light and where my legs wouldn't fall asleep. That was comfortable enough for me to actually sit. I'm actually gonna, all right, let's see if I can do this. I wonder if I can move the table a bit and get a better angle. Oh yeah, shoot, how do I remove the troll? Hang on a minute. Shoot. I don't know how to moderate it from me watching. Hang on. Good Lord. This is going to take forever because I stink. I think I'm just grainy because of my lighting. I'm thinking a minute. Maybe I should move you guys. Maybe we'll move. Okay, I'm going to pick you up and take you with me. Really quick. This is really professional. Okay, let me set this down. And I'm doing this on my tablet. So, hold on a minute. So I'm going to actually carry you with me. Don't get sick. Okay. Let's see if you guys, I should have figured this out before. I don't know if I can get it ungrainy. I think it's all the lighting. Go this way. Are you guys still with me? Let's see if I go here. That could be a little better. I don't know. Is that better, you guys? Or can you hear me? Still? I think the lighting might be better where I am here. Now I'm not seeing the comments. Oh, yeah. You think it's a smudge on my... Okay, hold on, guys. Could be the internet connection. I almost did the mom finger lick in the smudge. We did get some snow. The candle lights were too strong. Okay, now my stuff is over there. So hang on a second. We'll get this worked out. Hang on. All right. I'm getting on the floor. Is that better? Okay, I think the color is better here, even though there's lights behind me over there. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, so now you're kind of just seeing my two chins. Ah! You guys, I don't think I've done a live yet where I haven't had like a million snafus. Okay. And I don't know how to block people that make comments on here that I don't like. So, hold on. Oh. You know, I wish, well, I could have done a little trial run. Here's my phone. Hold on a minute. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to block people on here. Apparently we've got a psychic with us. Hello. Okay, so I brought a couple things to show. 18 minutes and I haven't done diddly squat. Okay, Carol Saltbox says it's better. So you guys, we have to take her word. She is, I believe everything Carol says. Okay. It makes it real fun. All the snafus. I'm real professional. Okay. So. Oh, thanks, Teresa. Hopefully that does help. I didn't like set up a moderator or anything. And you guys might be able to help. Okay, so one of the books I did not show in that video, actually I have a lot of books about Martha and a lot of the first ladies, and I'm not going to show them all for every episode, but I thought when I do my lives, maybe I'll show you guys some other stuff. So one book I have, which if you guys have ever been to DC, I know a lot of you have probably seen the first ladies, like their dresses and stuff at the Smithsonian. That's always been one of my favorite things to look at, because if you like needlework, a lot of people like textiles too, and clothes. Who doesn't love the clothes? So the Smithsonian actually has this book, and you can get it on Amazon. It's the First Ladies. It's part of their collection of the clothes. And oh my God, you guys, there's such good stuff. So this was produced when Michelle Obama was First Lady. So like one of the first outfits is this beautiful dress that she wore. So pretty. So they have a little bit on all of the first ladies through Michelle, right? So the last two first ladies aren't in here, but you got Laura Bush and her red dress. It's funny because when you flip through this book and they have, you know, a dress for each lady, you can almost see, I mean, the ladies, this looks like Laura Bush to me. I always picture her in red and this type of style. So this is fun. Here's Hillary Clinton's. It's not a pantsuit, but it definitely looks like her. Looks like one of the colors she wears. She's had a lot of gowns because, you know, she's been around a while. Barbara Bush, here's your favorite, you guys. And this totally, it's just missing the Barbara Bush beads. Does that not totally look like Barbara Bush? They're all so pretty. Even, I mean, the modern ones are pretty. Nancy Reagan. Now, this doesn't really remind me that much of Nancy Reagan. Here's one of Nancy's outfits. Last summer when I went to Canton to the first Ladies Museum, they had an exhibition on Nancy Reagan. So it was like a ton of her clothes, and it was mostly her clothes. My husband laughed because he said it looked like his grandmother's cruise wear from the 80s. Rosalind Carter. You guys were praying for Jimmy, right? Poor guy. He's in hospice right now. There's Ros. And that totally looks like her to me. I mean, that's just how you picture her, is in an outfit like this. Let's see. Betty Ford, another favorite, you guys. Look at her outfit. God, that's so 70s. I love it. So cool. So I guess I could show you all of them, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you a couple more. I wanted to show you Martha's. Let's see. Oh, look at Mamie Eisenhower's outfit. I mean, how great is that? Holy Moses. Look at the shoes. These ladies got to wear cool clothes, even the early ones. Okay, so here's one of Martha's outfits. I think there might be two of Martha's in here that they have pictures of. Yeah. Martha Washington. Here's her outfit. This is why I brought it. I thought I'd show you one of Martha's outfits. Just like a short little grandma lady. I mean, how cool is that? I like the colors. I love these, even though it's kind of drab, I love this color. And I think it has, yes. So here, there's two of her dresses here. Here is Martha's, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this. This is Martha's sewing case. Wouldn't that be fun to reproduce and stitch something like that? There's George and Martha up there. Not the most flattering pictures, I would say. But how cool is that? And this is another one of her dresses. She was tiny. They said she's like just about 5 feet tall. Maybe a little shorter. So, I don't know. I think this is fun. As, you know, I don't know. As a girl, I just love looking at all these clothes and, oh, look at Mary Lincoln. Who doesn't love Civil War fashion? Look at that dress. Holy Moses. I love that. I'd almost wear that now. Actually, I wouldn't. I'm not a dress girl. But, oh, the fabric is so cool. I don't know if I would have liked to wear these clothes when they actually did. I think that would be very uncomfortable. I love a good pajama pant. But I think these dresses and outfits and, oh, they're so good. Maybe I'll bring this out again for another live after I've done a few more episodes, because there are some really, really good ones in here. Grace Coolidge. Now she kind of has the flapper kind of dress in here. Still pretty though. Oh my gosh. You gotta have some good arms to pull off a dress like that. I don't think those ladies worked out. They just kept very fit and thin, I guess. Oh, okay, I gotta take a drink. So that was one book I wanted to show you. It's just a little paperback, and you can get it, I think it's like 12 bucks on Amazon. It's kind of a fun one to just flip through. Oh, I know. I could not imagine wearing those clothes in the heat. They didn't have air conditioning. I mean, I don't have air conditioning and I get hot in my sweatpants. So, um, I can't even imagine wearing those clothes. And that's why they had fainting couches. They were all strapped up and they couldn't breathe. And, you know, I don't know. I'd have a fainting couch too. Ugh, okay. I'm going to try and see if I can get on my phone and do some blocking. Oh, I'm not even logged into my. You guys, I don't know if I can actually do that because I'm not sure how to do it. Somebody Google how I can do that. Okay, we're just going to ignore and I'm going to continue on. So another thing that I grabbed that is actually a recent purchase for me is From Lady Washington to Mrs. Cleveland. And this is an antique book about the first ladies that was written in the 1800s. I think the publishing date is 1889. So, and a lot of historians that talk about the first ladies have read this and referenced this book. So I thought, well, I'm going to look for it. And what's fun about this copy that I got is whoever had this book pasted newspaper clippings in here about first ladies all throughout the book that they had collected. Like somebody was a first lady aficionado and they actually taped all these articles in here from newspapers that, I mean, they're all throughout the book. And of course I haven't read the whole book. I have flipped through it, but like you'll just open a page and there will be a little newspaper clipping in there about the first lady. Kind of like a little first lady scrapbook. So I probably will read through this for some of these ladies that I'm going to talk about. But I thought this was a fun book. I got it on eBay. So that was fun. Another fun reference book that I have. So I'm going to show you some charts. It's a junk. Lori said it's a junk journal. You're totally right. It is an 1800s junk journal. How cool is that? Even the ladies back in the day were doing stuff that we're doing now. Okay, I don't know how to. Goodness gracious. I'm trying to figure out, you guys. I know. Save that thing forever. I will. That book, it's a cool book. And I love, like, my whole house is decorated with old books. And I can't resist a good old book with, like, a pretty cover or a subject matter I like. I haven't read a lot of them, but they're all over. My house is filled with books. Let me see. No. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I don't know if there's any way I can do this. Sorry, I'm trying to... Hi, Carolyn. Okay, let's see. Oh, God. You know what? Hold on a minute. All right, I think I did it. Click the comment and block. I tried to click the comment before and it like wasn't doing anything, but I didn't click the little icon. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we're blocked here. Okay, see what's hard is you start talking and then I don't get to read all these and you guys were telling me what to do like 10 minutes ago. Okay, I'm just reading through the comments real quick. Okay. think we're done. Yay, well done. Thank you. Okay, so now let's look at charts. So I just brought a smattering of charts that either are kind of patriotic, maybe have George, maybe have Martha. I have more than what I brought, but I just grabbed some pieces that I thought would kind of like go with our theme. In case you get in the mood when you're watching some of these videos to stitch something, it would be fun to have a stitch along. Okay, so I brought another finish that I had, and this is a Plum Street. I could almost do just a whole thing on showing Plum Street charts, and because she features John, Abigail, George, she features a lot of these people all the time. So, I've shown you guys these before, and this is very fuzzy, but I brought, this is George and Martha by Plum Street Samplers. So you could stitch George and Martha together standing on top of their home and holding a very skinny flag with some little quilty stars around them. You can't tell the color. I did this on 32 count like a long time ago. And then I just made it into a pillow. And I can't remember, somebody recently did this one in the last year or so, and they did it on a really cool fabric, and it made me almost want to restitch it. I won't, but... So I put this one out in the summer, just all summer long. Oh, God. Oh. All right, I'm going to have to adjust because my leg is falling asleep here. Or maybe I'll get up on my couch. Hang on. Oh, nobody's going to want to watch this replay because it's going to stink. Okay, I'm going to look at you this way. Okay, and then on the video, I was trying to show the Virginia sampler that I couldn't find anywhere, that Martha Smith sampler, and I found the pattern. So, this is Handwork Samplers. Martha Smith. This would be not too, this wouldn't take too long to stitch. Excuse me. It's NPI and DMC, and it is in the DAR Museum. So, if you want to do a Virginia sampler, I like that a sampler one I showed. That's actually one that I would love to stitch and get done. So that's a Virginia sampler you guys could stitch. You have to look for the chart. But that would be a fun one. Okay, so some of these are old. I brought out Prairie Schooler, Stars and Stripes. Who doesn't love Prairie Schooler? You could do all these little patriotic pieces. You got George and Abe, two favorites. This is cute. Up here, this little flag. God, I should do this. This would be fun to do in silk, too. So, I got that one. Some of these I hadn't looked at in a while. This one's in the plastic. This is My Dearest Friend by Plum Street, and this is John and Abigail. Hope you guys can see them good enough with my bad lighting. That would be a fun stitch along to do during the Abigail episode. Let's see. So I'll read you what Paulette Stewart wrote. John and Abigail Adams spent much of their marriage apart from each other. Due to John's work for America's independence, over the next 4 decades, they exchanged hundreds of letters, of which 1,160 of them survive today. Their love and fondness for each other was evident in their correspondence, much of it filled with endearments such as Miss Adorable and My Dearest Friend. In 1801, John retired from life as a politician to join his beloved Abigail, and no more letters needed to be written. Ugh, hopefully you can see that. You can buy, I actually have the book of all of John and Abigail's letters, and oh boy, they're good. They're really good. Some of them are even kind of sexy, if you know what I mean. They were spicy with each other. Okay, this one is Little House Needleworks. What is this called? Colonial Women. This is an old one. Actually, I have 2 copies of this. I'm going to give one of these away. I don't... My next floss tube, I'll give this one of these away because I don't know how, but I have 2 of these. So this one, gosh, I wish the light was better. So this is Dolly, Abigail, Betsy, and Martha are in this, or named on this. Kind of cute. Oh, geez, oh, Pete, hang on. All right. We had another one with poo-poo talk here. Plum Street has a lot of sort of patriotic-ish themed charts. Okay, so I brought this one, Where Liberty Dwells by Brenda Gervais. Whoop. You got, I don't know if this is Uncle Sam with Ladies Sam. I don't know, because I don't know. But it's got 1776. That's patriotic. I've wanted to stitch this one since it came out. Well, I want to stitch everything when they come out. And I haven't. I don't get to stitch anything. All right, what else did I bring? Oh, I showed these last year. But I'm showing them again. Okay, so these are super patriotic. And this is Willow Hill Samplings. And she has an Etsy shop. On the Martha video, I said I was going to put some links and some stuff in the description box. I haven't had time to do that yet, but I will. And I think on a live, once it's recorded, I might be able to add description stuff here too. So I'll link this Etsy shop if I remember. So this is We the People. I think these are some heavy stitching. Little Stitch Girl has a market release called Party Like It's 1776. I don't think I've seen that one yet. Yes, the Salute to Abigail sampler by Blackbird is good. I did not bring that. But I will show it on another live because that is on my list to stitch. Okay, here we have the Crossing of the Delaware. These are all Willow Hill samplings. And I think she uses Picture This plus Dill, maybe? Is that the color? Yep. Picture This plus Dill on a lot of these, which I don't think I've ever stitched on that color. It's kind of cool. It looks, I don't know, it looks good with these colors she designed them with. This is her Birth of a Nation series, and if you go on her Etsy shop, I think she has a packet where you can buy all of them together. Like it's a little discounted, and you buy all the downloads together. So this one's Betsy Ross. So she's stitching the flag. And they all have this, like, the flag stitched border around it. So they all kind of coordinate, which that would take forever. But you'd be glad when it's done. The kids that, the grandchildren of Martha Washington, they actually did do samplers. And I think Martha actually taught them to do the samplers. Martha was actually, probably of all the first ladies, I would say she would be one of the most, needlework's really attached to her. She did a lot of different types, and I think that she did it all the time. So I would say that needlework is very attached to Martha Washington. Other ladies definitely had stuff they did. They didn't all do everything, and Martha was, I think she enjoyed it because she didn't just do it because it was useful, but I think that she did it for pleasure too, and was really into it. So I think we would have liked that about Martha. Here is the Boston Tea Party. I like that one too. I wish you guys could, these are printed, so even with my lighting, this is even worse than normal. And then there's Paul Revere's Ride. I've got to stitch one of these. These are very pretty. See, bought them all and started crossing the Delaware, but I know, they're dent stitching. That's the only reason I haven't started it. These are all by Willow Hill samplings, all of them. Paul Revere, Crossing the Delaware, Betsy Ross. It's a series she calls the Birth of a Nation series. She also has one with the lyrics to Star Spangled Banner that I don't have, but I need to get because I really like that one too. Yeah, Willow Hill sampling. She's been around a really long time. Okay, so I also brought, I think it was last year, Teresa Kogut. It might have been her market releases last year. She did the book Broad Stripes and Bright Stars. And it's not like George and Martha, but they're very, here's the book. Let me see if but see, like, she has like 1776 and the flag, and these are pretty. I think my favorite, well, this one's the flag one. Long May She Wave. That's cute. And then, oop, I don't want you to see the, oh, you know, okay, so Jenny says she's been stitching the presidential silhouettes. This one is one of the ones I couldn't find. Heartstring Samplery has a pattern with the silhouettes of George and Martha. Where did I put it? I don't know. I actually, earlier, I had pulled that out to make sure that when I did this, that I showed you guys, and I don't know where I put it. So, okay, so this Teresa Kogut book also has that one. The guy and gal there kind of look like they're giving each other a high five. I'm not sure what they're doing, but I think that one's cute. So this would be a good book if you're feeling patriotic. Oh, I brought this one. This is a good one. I think Carol Saltbox might have done this one. Liberty, 1776. Whoop, by Little House Needleworks. I'm feeling the American Revolution here, you guys. That's why I'm showing these. I kind of want to watch, I didn't mention it on that video, but I don't know if any of you watched the History Channel. I think it was in like 2020. They've released a few sort of documentary mini-series on presidents, and they had one on George Washington. I think they've done Washington, Lincoln, Ulysses Grant, who's another all-time favorite of mine, and Teddy Roosevelt. And they've all been good, but the Washington one is particularly good. And if you can stream it on, like, I think it might be on Amazon Prime, that would be, I've kind of been in the mood to like sit and stitch and watch that since I've been talking about Martha so much. Maybe I'll do that this weekend when I'm ironing linen. Okay, this one, and I think, let me see. Oh yeah, here we go. This is also an Etsy shop. This is, I don't know the designer's name. Oh shoot, I might have to link this one. Rhonda's Originals. She has, I have both the charts. Miss Prim, she has, this is a download. That's Martha, which is kind of cute. And there's also George. So you could stitch Martha and George as little pillows. I think they're cute. That's dent stitching too. Those are downloads. I don't think you can get those as printed, but it's Miss Prim, Cross Stitch Designs by Rhonda. I don't know how to say her last name. It's Rhonda's Originals on Etsy. She has some really cute, like funky cross stitch patterns. Let's see, I got a couple more. All right, so this is Twin Peak Primitives. One Nation Under God, and you've got 1776. You've got some other patriotic things. Oh, Willow Hill Samplings is closed for a break. Okay, well, she'll be back, I'm sure. She actually, last time I showed some of her patterns, she messaged me and said quite a few people had bought and downloaded them. And that if I ever needed anything, let her know. So this is a cute one, I think. I think this one came out maybe last year from Twin Peak Primitives. Here's another Twin Peak Primitives. This is Founding of America. Or maybe this is the one that came out recently. Maybe that's an older one. This is the Founding of America. You got Betsy Ross and George and Thomas Jefferson and the Liberty Bell. Twin Peak Primitives, Founding of America. I thought those were kind of fun. I bet these would be fun to stitch. I don't know. They seem fun to me, but I have no idea. Oh, I have a few more. All right, now, there's actually, I didn't even bring George Decorates for Martha because that's a Plum Street pattern. But here's a Christmas one, Mount Vernon Christmas, with the snowman and Mount Vernon. This one I have halfway stitched. This one, I don't know. This is Lady Washington Sampler by the Sampler Girl. Is that the one? No. This is an old one. This is 2004. Carol did it and it's framed. The Little House, the Liberty 1776. Yeah, I thought Carol did it. So that's kind of cute. I don't know. I don't know if I'll stitch. I don't know. I don't have time to stitch everything. All right, so here, this is a lot of Plum Street. I had all my Plum Street together in one like container, so it was easy to pull her stuff out. John and Abigail. I love this one. Here's sort of a play on John and Abigail, the Addams Family. So it's a Halloween one with the little colonial people. I should do that this fall. This one I know Carol Saltbox just recently did. And it's not like Martha or Abigail or anybody, but it's the Liberty Inn by Plum Street. It says 1776, kind of a patriotic. I just grabbed it because it said 1776. Okay, this is Bless Our Land by Plum Street. With a little colonial lady. She's wearing a hat like Martha wears. And that one I have kitted in a project bag. There we go. And I think this is the last one. Actually, I have another book I was going to show you too. Peace, Love, and Purpose by Plum Street. These are just like, I don't know if they're colonial people, if it's supposed to be like a John and Abigail. It might be. 1776 again. It's a very popular year. So yeah, that is some of the charts that I brought. Do you guys have any chart suggestions for me? Ones that I didn't bring that would be good in this grouping? Hang on a sec. Now my comments disappeared. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, the early Americans. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Okay, I just got a text that people were on the other one that I had scheduled. I guess people will find me over here because that was like 15 minutes ago. Yeah, the early Americans, I also had that because I've started it, and there is a Martha Washington block. I have all of those together because I think earlier in the year I had grabbed, is there more? See, I'm not even paying attention. Independence Hall. Yeah, that Lila Studio one's good. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. See, I don't understand why you guys, I totally suck at this. I'm going to do this on my, go on the, okay, Lori, let me see if I can. All right, Lori, I made you a moderator. I think anytime you're on here, you might be able to be a moderator because I am not paying attention. I can't pay attention to the, I think I have adult ADD. One Nation by Bygone Stitches. That's a good one. Oh, shit. Are you kidding me, Lori? I deleted it. It's okay. Independence Hall, Lila Studio. Isn't that Let Freedom Ring, the Lila Studio one? That I want to start this summer. Ugh, you guys, these lives are not... I wish we could just all hang out in the same room because this would be much easier than trying to do a live video. Some people are really good at it. I am not. I am going to go in and watch my own video on mute so I can see. You have the Lila Studio kitted, and it's big, and I think it's heavy stitching. I love the flowers on it, the border. I love that Lila Studio pattern. I did grab some of the patterns that I had that I thought would kind of fit in with this. I mean, there's a lot of patriotic patterns, but I also thought if I do another live later, it'll be like later in the First Lady's stuff. Maybe, you know, we will be close to like a Mary Lincoln, or because there's a lot that have to do with like Abraham Lincoln and Civil War and that kind of stuff. So I didn't bring those because I thought, well, I got to leave something for later to show. And some of the First Ladies, I'll go over like more sampler patterns from different states. I don't have a lot of like Virginia samplers. One of the things I brought, if you like the sampler books about sampler history, one of the other ones I have is about Virginia samplers. It is When You See This, Remember Me, Schoolgirl Samplers of Winchester and Frederick County, Virginia. Again, it's not in print. It was done by their historical society. And I didn't really show anything from this on the Martha and Virginia sampler video just because it's a good book, but it's just very specific to that one region. And I think what's fun about this one, let me find a good page to show you. So it's just samplers from the one county, but this book, which I love when books do this, it has the antique, if they have a picture of the stitcher, and sort of like a biography of the stitcher, because it's a historical county book. There's some good samplers in here though, if you like looking at samplers. All right. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm getting text too. Grace, are you not on here? There is Chessie and Me has a market release with it's a patriotic one with the flags. I think it's got Mayflower stuff on it, and now I can't remember the name of it, but I just got a text reminding me of that one. That one I actually have on order. Let's see. Sorry. Tell us the title of the antique book one more time. It is When You See This, Remember Me. Schoolgirl Samplers of Winchester and Frederick County, Virginia. Oh, Linda, it took you 2 years to stitch Let Freedom Ring. I don't think that's too shabby. So that's this book. And it's just thin. It's like it's not a thick book, but it's nice. I love the sampler books that have not just the history of the sampler, but that feature the girls that stitched them. Oh my gosh, Elizabeth Dingus. Woof. She looks happy. I know, they don't look happy because they couldn't smile. But I was like, oh, Elizabeth, smile, little girl. They couldn't in their picture, but those cracked me up. Elizabeth, 1833. I have one antique sampler with the picture of the stitcher, and I might have shown it on my video, but she didn't look too happy either. Sarah Fitzhugh. Fitzhugh is a big name in Virginia. Well, actually, just in a lot of America and England. But see, this has a nice painted picture of Sarah Fitzhugh. A colonial painting. Okay, I don't know why. I wish the comments would just stay up while we're talking because it would be easier for me to like have a conversation with you. They always looked mad. I know they couldn't move. But do you ever look at those old pictures and like honestly think you can get a vibe of the person? Sometimes when I go in antique stores, I feel like when I look at them, I can almost tell whether they were someone I would like or a good person or not good person, because some of them really actually give you like the willies when you look at those pictures and you can just tell. They didn't smile because the photography, you had to hold your pose for so long. The shutter speed, the way that they took the photography, you couldn't hold a position or a smile that long, so they just sat there stone-faced while they got their photo taken. I mean, I guess it was better than nothing. I think they were probably thrilled to have their photos taken at all. It was such new technology, right? The Lila's one is good. Sarah was pretty. That was a good picture. Okay, I'm going into my own live, but I'm turning my volume down here so that I can make sure I see everything. Bad teeth. They probably did have bad teeth, Suzanne. God, can you imagine having to go to the dent, having bad teeth in those days? One thing about Martha is when I was reading about Martha is that she got sick a lot with gallstones. And as somebody that has had their gallbladder removed, oh my God, that would have been awful. I can't imagine. I don't know if you guys have ever suffered from that, but that is not a treat, a gallbladder attack. And Martha Washington did suffer from that. And then I wondered, because I never saw or could find, like, did they remove gallbladders then? How did they treat her? Did you just kind of suffer through it? Because I am sure she didn't know what was causing it. Yeah, so every once in a while I think of the medicine then and think, oh God, not only would I have hated wearing those dresses and not having indoor plumbing, I would have hated to have a bad tooth or a gallstone in those days. Moses. The pain would be, I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know enough about what they did do to like ease their pain with stuff. I don't know if they were chewing on tree bark and I don't know, isn't aspirin from tree bark? I don't know what they did. It would just be awful. You would just, I don't know. So I think that's why they took to bed all the time. I would have taken to bed if I had gallstones and couldn't get rid of my gallbladder. Oh, Crohn's, that would be terrible. Crohn's? I mean, all of the things that we have now that kind of suck. But, you know, I mean, we at least have pain medication. I can't imagine just not even have access to aspirin. Sometimes I used to, well, okay, this is how my brain thinks. I've thought before, like, okay, if I could time travel, where would I time travel to? What would I do? And every once in a while I think, God, I would time travel back and give some medical advice. Like I tell those people in the Civil War and during George and Martha's time, like, wash your hands, no bloodletting, doesn't work, no good. And for God's sake, quit going to the bathroom near where your drinking water is. I mean, this will solve a lot of your problems. I'm from 2023. I gotta go, but I just wanted to tell you that. Like, oh, medical care. Well, even like in our grandparents' time, the medical care was not great for a woman going through childbirth. You could die from strep throat. I mean, yeah, or if they were using pain medication, you're taking like cocaine. I mean, you're taking some serious drugs. They probably loved that. The cough syrup with cocaine in it and stuff. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine. You got a little cough and you're sucking down some cough syrup with some serious drugs in it. Willow tree bark tea. Yeah. Is that what aspirin comes from? I know aspirin originally came from the bark of a tree, or that's how they figured out how to make aspirin, I think. I don't know. That's off the top of my head. Tetanus. Oh, the things. Oh, thank God for you guys. Thank God for modern medicine. I think that all the time. I mean, even a toothache, it's terrible sometimes just to have to wait till you get into the dentist and, you know, Motrin. Motrin is amazing. I'm just reading through the comments because I actually have it pulled up on my phone, which is much easier. Let's see. Okay, I am trying to pull up I don't understand. Okay, do you guys know when you're watching it? Like, okay, block one. Okay. Let's see. Morphine was the favorite. Yeah, morphine. They still do morphine. I've had morphine drips. That stuff's good. Yeah, I'm from 2023. I gotta go, but I wanted to give you guys a little advice on your habits here that might extend your life a bit. Wash your hands. Just wash your hands. Keep things clean. There are things you can't see that are called germs. Oh my gosh, Deb. Doing family history, found a death certificate for an aunt who cut finger on a carpet tack while cleaning the house and died from an infection. A carpet tack killed your aunt. That could probably happen today if you really ignored it. And that kind of reminds me of, did you guys watch, you guys, Little House on the Prairie fans? There's the one episode where like Ma cuts her leg like on a wire fence or something, and then the family's gone, and the whole episode is like her leg getting infected and having to like heat a knife and cut out this infection by herself. Every episode was kind of like that, but that just reminded me of that episode of her, Caroline Ingalls, sitting in her rocking chair with her leg, infected leg, and not knowing what to do. I mean, it was a whole episode about an infected leg. Poor Ma. I watched that show as an adult, and I just can't believe that was my favorite show when I was young. Like, my favorite. And I just can't believe how upsetting every show is. Both your great grandparents died from yellow fever. What is yellow fever? What is there an equivalent of that today, or is that gone? Yellow fever. I'm not sure. I mean, I know a lot of people died of yellow fever, but I'm not sure if I know how it helped or how it affected you. Oh, a gal got septic from a needle stab sewing. Oh my. That's crazy. I mean, you know what? You got to be very careful. Calvin Coolidge's son died from a blister on his foot. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Yellow fever is from mosquitoes. Linda got Martha Washington shell pincushion pattern from Mount Vernon. I think the Mount Vernon shop, they used to actually sell that shell pincushion pattern as a kit. I think you could buy it in both cross stitch and needlepoint. It was a needlepoint. I think she did all of her dining room chairs in the shell pattern. I never bought it. It doesn't appeal to me as far as like wanting to do it, and I wouldn't use it. Polio in the 50s. Oh gosh. And one day people will look back at us and just wonder how we made it through, I guess. So it's all about perspective. Yeah, I think you can still go on the Mount Vernon website and go into their shop and buy some of the Martha Washington needlework stuff. They actually have I actually liked going into Mount Vernon. One of my favorite things at a lot of these places is going to the gift shop. I love junk like that. I love the hoodies. I love the mugs. I love looking at all the fun little tchotchke things you can buy. And you can buy a lot of Mount Vernon stuff online. If you liked George Washington, if you liked Martha, if you liked any parts of their stories, I don't know if I said this in the video, but Mount Vernon is the source to go to. It's a trusted source. There's a lot of history out there that I don't know if I would depend on being trustworthy or accurate or fair or really. Mount Vernon they do a very good job, and they tell the true story. They use the real history. They have a lot of the artifacts. If you want to know about George and Martha, that is the place to go. And they have a wonderful website. They have a YouTube channel with some shorts on it. They also have, I just forwarded someone earlier today, they have a little video on Martha Washington's pen treaty quilt, which is great. If you haven't seen it, or you've only seen photos, you've got to go watch the video. It's like a 5-minute video, and they do a real close-up of the Martha Washington pen treaty quilt that she sewed. They put a lot of their, I think they have like a Martha Washington Day. I think Patricia Brady, who wrote that book, I think she spoke at Mount Vernon. They do it like once a year. They will stream and show a lot of the people that have come and given lectures at Mount Vernon. They bring in a lot of historical authors and stuff too. Like a lot of the presidential libraries will host different authors and I don't know, political people, all different kinds of people. So it's not always about the person whose library it may be. And Mount Vernon does that too. They'll have authors and different historical experty type people. So it's not, people that speak there aren't just about George and Martha, but they have a lot of great YouTube videos. And they have a fantastic Instagram. And what's fun about the Instagram is if you're on Instagram and you follow Mount Vernon, they will do little blurbs, like little reminders with like little facts about stuff on different days. And so it's real fun to like get a glimpse of something that they're talking about and then maybe go to their website and look more into it. They just did for George's birthday, they had like a little video of like revolutionary like drummers and kind of like this one of the ceremonies at Mount Vernon. They did a wreath laying thing at George's tomb last week. They recently had a talk about Martha's clothes on YouTube. Yeah, they do a lot of stuff about Martha. Yeah, the Mount Vernon Instagram is one of my favorites that I love to follow. Vicki went to Mount Vernon on an 8th grade trip a few years ago. I went to Mount Vernon. Here, the kids used to go in 8th grade. Since COVID, I don't think they've gone. None of the classes have gone. But for 8th grade, that was the big trip. And so my oldest daughter, it's a really expensive trip. And they drive there on a bus from northern Michigan. We don't, like my nephews out west, they flew to DC. But I kind of didn't love the schedule of what they did in DC when my daughter was supposed to go in 8th grade. I didn't like what they saw or picked or what they were doing. And I didn't feel the price I was going to have to pay was really worth that. So what I told her was, if you want to go with your class and your friends, I'll pay the money. And if you'd like for me to take you and we'll kind of tailor more to things that you might like, I'll take you and we'll go together. So I actually, with a girlfriend of mine, actually the friend whose house I'm at right now, like a year later, we did it a little after 8th grade, and her daughter had missed the 8th grade trip, and we took our girls to DC, and we kind of tailored it to stuff that they would like, and we had a blast. And we did go to Mount Vernon that day, and both of the girls loved it. They absolutely loved it. And my friend's daughter is kind of a history buff. My daughter is not. And she really, really enjoyed going to Mount Vernon. She liked it a lot. But her big, when we did the DC trip, I thought it was fun because with the class, they they'd eat their lunch at McDonald's. They all had to stay together. There's 5 kids in a room. They're all wearing the orange shirts. They were doing Air and Space Museum, which is fantastic, but I knew that wasn't up my daughter's, alley, that she wouldn't really like that. They did, Medieval Times was one of the dinners that they do. I mean, I was like, she's not going to be into that. So when we went, I was like, well, I'll rent a car. We flew there, and then I was like, I'll rent a car and we'll go to New York City. And her biggest thing that she wanted to do on that trip was go stand in front of Tiffany's and have her picture taken, which we did. But I think she was surprised she enjoyed Mount Vernon. I think she's more of a take my picture in front of Tiffany's kind of girl, but she had a good time. And my other kids haven't gone yet. I owe them trips to DC and I haven't done it yet. Edith Wilson was another great first lady. Yeah, she is. She did. She ran the country. Yeah, she absolutely did. She was an acting president. There's some good, you guys are going to love some of these stories with these first ladies. There's some saucy stories here. They all are pretty good. There's a few that are kind of boring. But there are some really good stories with these first ladies. And they're all a little different. And there's some first ladies, I don't know, Mary Lincoln is one the few people mentioned as a favorite. I don't know if she's a favorite of mine. I don't know about her. I think with like a Mary Lincoln, and there's a couple other ones, Jane Pierce. You guys, Jane Pierce, if you don't know Jane Pierce's story, I'm not going to spoil it because I think it'll be an interesting episode. She won't have her own episode because her husband was only president for 4 years, and her story is so tragic. It'll be hard not to cry during that one. And I kind of feel that way about Mary Lincoln. I think I feel more sorry for her. Mary Lincoln had a horrible life. And so I don't know. I don't know if I would have liked her in person. She's incredibly interesting. Lucy Hayes is an ancestor. Ooh, she had good clothes, Lucy Hayes did. I'm going to cover them all, right through Lady Bird Johnson. I will cover her. Everybody through Barbara Bush. Because I said this in the introduction. I feel like the living ones, first of all, they're still living. They haven't finished their story, right? We don't know what they're going to do. So their story's not done. A lot of them are not. I mean, the only really elderly one is Rosalind. I'm sure she's probably not going to do much more. But, they're all relatively young gals, youngish gals. They still have a lot of years to, I don't know, contribute and do stuff and write books and volunteer and do all kinds of things. So, the new ones, their history isn't written yet. And it's kind of also a little hard to have perspective on some of the new ones when we're kind of living in it. I don't know. That's kind of why I thought, you know what, let's just make it easy. I think emotions can, I don't know. The first ladies now, I don't want it to get political. They're all great. There isn't all the way through, Jill Biden is our first lady right now. I respect them all. For me, I love them all. But I think the ones that are living, they're not done yet. So we're just going through Barbara. And not only want to talk about Barbara, but who didn't love Millie? Did you guys have Millie's book? Millie the dog? I got that for Christmas one year. And I was like kind of young-ish, and my mom got me that for Christmas, and she's like, oh, I thought you'd love it. You love animals. And I'm like, I got Millie's book. But it actually was really cute. That was in our house forever, Millie's book. I'm reading the chats because, yeah, Mary stuff. I don't know about Mary Lincoln, you guys. I don't dislike her. I'm just saying I think I probably feel more sorry for her than as someone that I really get excited about or love. I feel terrible for her. Patricia, you've got a famous ancestor. I might do Rosalind. I mean, she's living, but come on. I mean, she's not doing anything else. You know what? I probably will. Poor Jimmy. Jimmy's in hospice. Jimmy Carter. He's the first okay, you guys, now I'm 47. So Jimmy Carter's the first president that I actually remember. I was born during Ford. Jimmy's the first one I remember. Clearly. So, yeah. So Rosalind. I'll do Rosalind for sure. She is living, but she's like, what, 97? 96? I don't think she's real active anymore. I think her story is kind of wrapping up. I'm young, yeah. I'll be 48 next month, in a couple weeks. Millie's book has a photo of the needlepoint rug. Yes! You know what? I don't think we still have the book. I'm going to have to look. I wonder if I still have Millie's book. Oh my gosh, did you guys, okay, I'll wrap it up soon, but did you guys, speaking of Millie, George W., do you remember his dog Barney? And I remember when my oldest daughter was in preschool, this is like before Facebook, before YouTube and all of this stuff, and Barney had like a webcam, and Barney was a Scotty dog, and you could watch Barney on his webcam. And he did like holiday videos, and you'd see it from Barney's perspective. I remember when my daughter was in preschool, my friend Sally and I she's like, did you see Barney's? I mean, we would discuss Barney and the White House dog and his webcam all the time. We were so excited about it. We just thought it was so cool and so clever that Barney had a webcam. So Millie might have kind of, there's been a lot of famous like presidents' pets, like way before Millie and Barney. But Barney was fun. He had his little webcam. And I think, maybe did Barack Obama's dog have a webcam? Somebody else did. Now, Socks the cat, which was the Clintons' cat, I don't think Socks had a webcam. Cats are too quick. But I think maybe the Obamas had like a webcam for their dog, and I can't remember their dog's name. Oh, geez, oh, Pete. You know, there are some real creepos that pop up on here. Fabio from Italy, you're gone. Christine saw Barbara in Maine one summer from afar. They were walking with the dogs. Oh, wow. You know, I have actually, okay, who have I seen? I stood outside of Richard Nixon's funeral, and I think that funeral had the most living ex-presidents that attended. Let me tell you, the convoy that attended that funeral was huge. I grew up just not very far from the Nixon Library, and that's where he was buried. So we just decided why not? We couldn't get in, but it was like, why not stand outside and watch all the presidents arrive? So I did do that. And as a kid, I actually saw Ronald Reagan. He was doing a speech at Whittier High School, and we had friends that lived across the street. And so we went to watch and watched him get off Marine One. Again, it was not something, it was something for like donors. We weren't invited. But he came out and waved at everybody. And so I have seen Ronald Reagan. And a lot of the ex-presidents in their convoy going to Richard Nixon's funeral. But, you know, I wasn't there. So. Ooh, Nikki met George W. when he was running for governor. He seems like he'd be fun to have, like, a cup of coffee with, too. I think he has his mother's sense of humor. And Barbara seems like really cool. Like she would have been fun to hang out with. But again, a little scary. I think she would have been slightly intimidating if you could get over that. Very nice and personable. Yeah, I like them all. I like all these guys. I think a lot of them would probably be interesting. A lot of the presidents would be really interesting to have dinner with or a cup of coffee with. All of them would be. I wouldn't say no to any of them. Let's see. Richard Nixon went right by my house when he was campaigning for re-election in his motorcade. Well, I kind of saw Richard Nixon in his motorcade. He just wasn't moving much. Jimmy Stewart. Oh, I loved Jimmy Stewart. Ugh, he's a favorite of mine too. Oh my gosh, so many of you have met and seen presidents. I'm a little shocked. Judy went to a fancy dinner where several presidents were in attendance. You guys. Judy, what were you eating for dinner? Wow, Richard Nixon really got around. When he came to our town after disaster in 1974, leaned against. Met LBJ before. Oh my gosh, you guys have seen so many presidents. You know, security is really lax with these guys. Look at all of us that have seen him. Oh, Carol Saltbox remembers when Alaska and Hawaii became states. I bet that'll blow your grandkids' minds if you tell them that. It's not that long ago. Pam met George W. Come on, you guys. How many of you have met presidents? I can't believe it. I mean, I believe you guys, but it's a little shocking how many... You guys... Now, my mom always told the story of her dad worked for GM. He was an engineer for GM because my mom grew up in Michigan. And they had to go like testify in front of Congress or something like back in the 50s. And they were all wearing these like really nice suits and they were driving these really nice cars. And they decided to go, they got a little toasted after their, you know, whatever, time in front of Congress after their testimony. And they decided to go to the White House, and they got waved through, and they actually went up and knocked on the front door and asked if they could come in. They weren't let in, but they just walked right up to the White House and knocked on the front door. My mom always thought that was a funny story. All these drunk GM men knocking on the president's front door. Pam Horner, Michelle and Barack Obama came to the village of Davenport. Bill Clinton campaigned at the village. You guys. Rebecca met Bill. Actually, I think my husband used to work. I'm going to have to ask him. I think he did. My husband worked for McDonnell Douglas, and Bill Clinton came and did an event there at McDonnell Douglas. I know, because my husband worked with his aunt, and I know his aunt was there for that. I think my husband was too. Ooh, Jenny got to see Kennedy at a Chicago campaign event. Oh my gosh. You guys. Christine saw Reagan. I would go see anybody. My dad was in the Navy was it the Navy? I don't know. My dad was in the Navy, the Army, and National Guard. So it was either when he was in the Army or the Navy. He might have been in the Army. But when JFK was assassinated, he was on, my dad did like communications, like the radio, and I don't know, like in Vietnam, he was the guy with the backpack with the radio that like, did all that stuff. And he was in Dallas in a plane, like kind of like for security when JFK was assassinated. And he said that he had fallen asleep. Like he said it was like a boring detail they usually had. And he said that he fell asleep like at the little switchboard radio thing that he worked. And he said someone like smacked him. And he said all these like papers are flying out of some feeder thing. And he said, because they had all of the like Secret Service communication and they were communicating with the military. And so it's all the communication between them. And he like popped up and somebody had said, oh, the president was shot. And he still says now, he goes, I wish I would have kept all that like ticker tape about all the stuff they were talking about, but we just would pull it and it would kind of go into the garbage or whatever. And we would do whatever we had to do because then we were on high alert. But that's my dad's like Kennedy story. Joe Biden dated my friend's mom. You guys, stop it. Joe Biden dated Lynn's friend's mother. How fun is that? Now, was this when he was a widow or was this before the first wife is what I want to know. Oh, how fun. Just sitting at a table next to George H. and Barbara at a Tex-Mex restaurant. Yes, Kelly, I think that counts if you're having dinner next to George and Barbara. That counts as a presidential encounter. I ate dinner near Jack Nicholson. I'm just saying, I'll throw that out there. I feel like I met him. I didn't. But he ate dinner like one table over for me. Shook hands with Bobby Kennedy. Oh, you guys, I just can't believe how many of you have seen. Oh, Joe, before the first wife. Oh, Lynn. That would be super young, Joe Biden. Your friend could have been a first lady. I'm just saying. Let's see. Then Lynn would have known a first lady. Oh, how exciting would that be? That's even more exciting than the president's. Patricia met Bob Dole. He was a good guy, too. Joe Biden sat behind me at my son's college graduate. You guys. Does Jack Nicholson chew with his mouth closed? I bet not. I don't remember. It was at a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. So yeah, that's tough meat. Probably not. I was trying not to like really stare at him because you can't be super obvious about those things. Hottie Biden. Yeah, Joe Biden was a good looking guy when he was younger. I mean, I'm not saying he's not good looking now. I'm just saying he's a little older. Not in my age range. I just can't believe it. Okay, now I'm hiding people. I can't believe how many of you Biden. You know, a lot of the presidents were actually pretty cute. My ex-son-in-law catered Jenna Bush's wedding reception. You guys, I'm just shocked. This is really like killing me that so many of you have had presidential encounters. Oh Lord, and it seems like some of them were much more visible than others because there's a lot of Bush sightings here. Couple of Joe sightings. In fact, we have, you know, the dating of Joe. It is a small world. My ex did meet and shake George W.'s hand. I met Mitt Romney. He's not a president, though. Would have loved to have met Reagan. Reagan would have been, you know, okay, here's the thing I'll say about Ronald Reagan, because he's gone. We can talk about him. He's one of my favorites. Not for any, he's like the president of my childhood. I was excited because I remember when he got elected, and I was old movie buff. I mean, I watched old movies when I was little like a nut. And the thing that sticks out to me was I was so excited because I knew him from the movies. Now, he hadn't been making movies for decades. But when there's 3 channels and they play all these old movies all the time, I knew Ronald Reagan. And we were actually watching Jimmy Carter's concession speech. I was little. I was like, where's he going? And my mom's like, oh, Ronald Reagan got elected. And I was like, what? So I don't know. I just really latched onto that as a kid and really just loved him. But I think he would have been a real fun one to have lunch with. His speaking style, his sense of humor, he's very enjoyable to watch. I think he's more enjoyable looking back, maybe, or maybe just because I'm older. But I think Ronald Reagan would have been a fun one to have a dinner with. In Delaware, Joe was at. Well, Delaware's tiny, Lynn. I mean, I guess probably a lot of people in Delaware know Joe Biden. Kennedy was being shot was the first thing I remember as a child. It's a TV show. Oh, yeah. Carol was upset that the TV shows she liked weren't on because of all the coverage. You know, I had that experience with the Challenger. I was homesick the day the Challenger exploded. And the one thing that this is terrible because it was an awful thing. But the day the Challenger exploded, I was actually bummed because I was sick and they were going to have it on at school. And the one good thing about being sick was I got to watch the soap operas. So I was all, snuggled in my bed with my little cup of water and getting ready for the soaps. And they busted in with the Challenger launch and, they were covering that all day. And Reagan's funeral was good. It was good. George H.W.'s funeral, which was the most recent presidential funeral, that was inspiring. I was really shocked. He planned it out himself. It was incredibly patriotic. That was a phenomenal funeral. Phenomenal. And Reagan had a great funeral too. I mean, how dumb to say that, but really, I thought H.W.'s All My Children, that was one of the ones I watched. Yeah, Ryan's Hope. All My Children, One Life to Live, General Hospital. That was my channel. These presidential funerals, I mean, sad and all that stuff. But man, when they talk about pomp and circumstance overseas, some of that stuff we do really well. And some of these political funerals, presidential funerals, have been very inspiring and good. Reagan was shot on my sister's back, Christine. Well, they used to. I've been to some of the presidential. I've been to the Reagan Library. Been to the Nixon Library. Been to the McKinley Library last summer. That was kind of sad. I was like the only human in the building. Let's see. I'm trying to go back and read all the comments because I know I missed some. And I should get off here soon and let you guys go to bed or do your stitching. Rio shot my. I know. What sucked was when we'd be watching TV, there was no cable news or anything like that. So they always busted into your TV shows and you'd be like, oh God, what now? You know, and if it was a big thing, it interrupted your TV shows all day. The President's on every channel. We're going to miss Flipper. I loved Flipper. Gentle Ben and Flipper were like two of my favorite shows. Yeah, well, you're going to miss another episode of Gilligan's Island like you haven't seen those 8,000 times. Flipper was great. You can actually stream Flipper. I don't remember on what, but I have streamed Flipper before. That's one you can watch. Live near Cleveland. Okay, so Ohio. See, now this summer I'm going to go to Ohio a lot because there is a poop ton of presidents from Ohio, and there is a lot of places to visit there. So I got to check all those off my list. The Watergate hearings interrupted Melinda's cartoons. That would stink. Iran-Contra also interrupted my soap operas, I have to say. Let's see. Okay, well, you know, I don't need to keep you guys. We've been talking for like an hour and a half. I hope everybody that went onto the first scheduled feed made it over to this one. I hope so. If not, they will see it in the feed because this should record and be on there. So I'm awake enough to stitch, I think. Bringing back lots of memories with the soaps and the TV shows. Yeah. I didn't like when stuff interrupted my TV. So, that's it. I'm going to go, but I'll do another live, and I hope I can do one of these that is not technically challenged. Now I know how to delete the creeps. That was easy. Once you guys told me how to do it. And I'm going to delete the other scheduled one and actually put a little title thing on this. And I will do another. I just don't know. It's hard for me to get like a quiet moment in my house. They're getting older now. I could probably do it. So I will do it again, and I will do it soon, but I will let a few, hold on. I'll get another few episodes in, so then we can maybe chat more about the First Ladies. We don't have to just talk about First Ladies. And I don't know. I'll do some more lives soon. Maybe show some charts. So send me a message or leave me a comment if there's something you think I need to talk about or I forgot. But I'm so glad you guys liked Martha, and hopefully you watch more. So I'm gonna go, and I think I'm gonna stitch some Plum Street tonight. I think I've got it in me. So have fun, and I will see you guys very soon, and watch for Abigail the next episode. And my regular floss tube. I think I might do it next week. So I'll do both. Bye, guys.